Police in Windsor, Ontario have now named the man they believe murdered a 6-year-old girl more than half a century ago. Investigators say they used DNA to solve the 1971 killing. The CBC's Jason Vio has more on this historic crime.
This is a case that really shook and rattled the community here in Windsor in southwestern Ontario back in 1971. We're talking about a 6-year-old girl, Ljubica Topic, and she was just playing outside of her home with her brother at the time around dusk, and her brother stepped away. Police said a stranger approached her, lured her away, and offered her some money, and that was really the last anyone had seen of her. And it wasn't until police started searching for her, there was a massive response with officers and members of the community as well. And later that night, police say an officer did find her outside and she was sexually assaulted and murdered. And police say that 5 decades went by without any real substance to allow them to make an arrest in this case. Hundreds of tips from all over this country and the United States. And it wasn't until 2019 that police say they believe they identified the person responsible for this, and that was because of DNA advancements. And there were more than 500 persons of interest in this case, but they say they believe that this person was the one who committed these crimes. And at the time, though, in 2019, they wouldn't identify this person. They said they were deceased, they wouldn't have their day in court, and that really outraged a lot of people in this community who thought the identity of this person should be made public. And it wasn't until late last night that Windsor police sent out a news release identifying the person in this case believed to have killed 6-year-old in Windsor as Frank Arthur Hall. Police say he was 22 years old at the time and lived nearby, but later in his life moved to Edmonton, where he died at the age of 70 in 2019. Now, you may be wondering why all of this is coming out now. Well, police say there was a change in leadership that allowed them to reevaluate why they didn't release the name back in 2019. They also say they want to be fully transparent, and that releasing a photo and a name of the suspect or the person believed to have committed this crime may help them get information from the public for other investigations that they're conducting, but they wouldn't elaborate on that. But what they didn't say in the release was that there were freedom of information requests from media outlets, including the CBC, trying to get access to this person who they believe killed and committed such a heinous crime. They said at the time that this would be an unjustified invasion of their privacy, and the deceased no longer posed a threat to public safety. So clearly a change of opinion on that. The name has now been released, and some closure for the family and the community here in Windsor. Jason Vio, CBC News, Windsor.